It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso ahead of a bumper weekend of sport, most notably on the footballing front. London rivals Chelsea and Arsenal will go head-to-head for the coveted FA Cup final at the Wembley Stadium tomorrow. No crowds will be there, but half the world will be tuned in, undoubtedly. So this morning we thought we'd be joined by two of the biggest supporters, certainly in our country, of these two incredible clubs. Chelsea supporter Danny Datnow and Arsenal supporter Matt Kassel. Very good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Listen, I'm loving the background. I'm loving the setting already. Clearly, the battle lines have been drawn, Graham.
Yeah, this is a big one. We love the fact that it's London clubs, and because there's no fans there, to have that underlying derby tension really does help in this kind of situation.
Absolutely.
There are so many questions about these two teams with new management that have done actually incredibly well. Probably Chelsea better than Arsenal. Absolutely. If you look at what they've been able to achieve in a very short time. But maybe I'm gonna start there with you, Danny, with Chelsea. Just let's talk about Frank Lampard and what he's been able to do with the Chelsea side. You're talking about a guy, this is only his second season as a manager. He came from Derby, he came into the situation that was incredibly tense, and now they've achieved Champions League football and an FA Cup final. What has worked for Chelsea and for Frank?
Well, I think he's been given the trust by Abramovich. So he's known by the club, so he's got the faith already before even having coming in. So he was given probably less pressure, and with a lot of things considered, he had a transfer ban. He lost his biggest player in Hazard before he even joined the club. So he was just given basically a free season. And so with the idea of bringing in the youth, and it's worked for him. He's brought in like 8 youth team members for a season, which is like a record for the club, and they've shone.
Yeah. And as you say that, Danny, it sounds like Frank Lampard has basically given a blank canvas and said, paint your own masterpiece and we'll love whatever you put on it. Counter to Mikel Arteta, who stepped in to a club that has so much expectation, not just from the fans around the world. And Matthew, I'm sure that you'd agree as well that he's had a very, very different mission at Arsenal to basically recreate the Invincibles. Everyone is waiting for that to come around again.
Yeah, I think we're a long way off from the glory days of the Invincibles. I think Arteta has stepped into a very difficult project. Obviously the legacy that Wenger created, Unai Emery tried to step into, and unfortunately that was a horror show. But I'm very optimistic. He's obviously spent some good tutelage under Guardiola at Man City. I think he brings fresh ideas, much needed into this team. Has also injected a lot of faith into the youth, has cast away some of our more established players, the likes of Ozil, doesn't even smell the bench at the moment. So I am optimistic. Realistically, we've come off a difficult season, but I'm definitely optimistic against our Russian rivals in London.
I love that. That was a little bit uncalled for.
I love that.
That was a little bit uncalled for this early in the discussion. I thought that we were still all just getting to know each other, and you had to go there. So let's talk about the firepower and what's in the arsenal for each club here. Let's start with Chelsea. A couple of dynamic players there. One person who certainly put his hand up again for me in a side that's got some incredible youngsters. Mason Mount has been amazing. Tammy Abraham, a revelation. But Olivier Giroud has said, I'm here, I can still play at the highest level. What have Chelsea got up front? And is it enough to unlock, let's be honest here, a slightly shaky Arsenal defence at the moment?
Yeah, I would say so. And remember, where does Giroud come from? I have a recollection that from a certain club, we get a lot of players who like to win trophies, but at us, not from where they come from.
Oh, man. The banter knows no end, especially when it comes to this. But I want to find out from you, Matt, what do you think Arsenal need to get right, other than the obvious marshalling the back three, depending on what kind of defensive structure Arteta is going to play? But what do they need to do to secure this trophy? Because it's not just a trophy, this is the quest for European football as well. Yeah,
you're 100% correct. This game's got some added importance for us. only chance of getting into Europa is through a victory here. I think what we've got to do is we've got to keep it compact at the back. I fully expect Arteta to go with the same tactics he went with against City and Liverpool, 3 at the back.
Okay.
I think David Luiz always needs that extra body. I think if we can keep it tight, and play the wing backs, keep it out wide. I think going forward we are worlds above United with the front three of Lacazette, Aubameyang, and Pepe.
Sure.
I think if we can feed them the ball. I mean, their keepers are dodgy. I don't even know which keeper's going to start for Chelsea. So, yeah, that's what we've got to do.
All right, so I'm going to ask you, Danny, to stand loud and proud and give us a score prediction for the weekend.
I'm going 3-1 Chelsea.
3-1.
We're shocking with our defence. So I do think we'll concede 1, but we got a good firepower up front. And I remember we played Arsenal in the the final 2 years ago when they needed to get into Europe with the pressure on them, and Chelsea didn't have the pressure, and we had a similar scoreline that night.
Wow. 3-1. That is a massive scoreline for a final. Matt, what do you say?
Yeah, I think it's obvious that Arsenal will concede as well, but I'm optimistic. I think a 3-2 victory. We'll definitely go behind, probably to an early Luiz era, but we'll see at home in the dying moments, 3-2.
Your realism, I absolutely love it. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We're going to stay connected with you through this shortened break of a season, and then hopefully, when it all resumes after this crazy, what has been a crazy Premier League and FA Cup run, hopefully both of you will have at least enjoyed a lot of goals and a wonderful final. But guys, thank you so much for weighing in. All the best of luck to both of you for the weekend. All right, Kat, you got some exercise to do, son.
I do indeed. Let me go get warmed up for the boys.
You can start stretching. We're going to be introducing a little bit of a diverse sporting code a little bit later, and we're going to get into some cricket. We're going to get into some rugby in our second segment of our weekend sports review. But you can let us know on our social media platforms how you are feeling about the FA Cup. What is your score prediction?